Hi there, it's Erin Wilde with the Around Town podcast with something that's near and dear and so close to my heart. As you can see, the ladies are here from Mission Granbury in purple because October is Domestic Violence Awareness Month. Now, being a victim once of domestic violence, from survivor to thriver, I know the importance of breaking the silence of domestic violence. It's something when you're going through, hard to talk about, and you put a lot of blame on yourself. And it's also something that a lot of people don't want to hear about or have in their face. But the numbers are shocking. And when you start talking about it, I remember the first time I ever talked about it, so many people were like, oh my gosh, me too. Me too. You're not alone. And I started thinking, oh my gosh, it's not my fault. It's not just me. And that's why it's so important, and so important the work you guys do at Mission Granbury. So what is your title there?
So I'm the Shelter Program Director and Non-Residential Victim Services Director.
Okay. And Mission Granbury, you guys have so many different outreaches, right?
We
It's
do.
not just the shelter.
We have 9 programs that we offer to those in the community that needs assistance, whether it's our food pantry, need help paying a utility bill, prescriptions,
Yes.
come in and talk to a case manager.
Yeah, so many great things. But of course, October being Domestic Violence Awareness Month and purple being that color. We all see pink and we're like, breast cancer awareness. And the statistics, I think for me, like I know 1 in 8 women will be affected by breast cancer. Terrible. But what is it? 1 in 4 women are victims of domestic violence.
Yes.
So the number is even higher, but the color is not so much aware. So that's what we're here to do. And you know how cool it is, I think, that the square in Granbury lights up purple? You don't see towns get behind this that much. So we're lucky for that.
We are, and the lights in the trees are great, and then we have light covers on the courthouse, so the courthouse actually turns purple at night. It's very moving when you realize
is.
the connectivity.
It is. And if you want to talk more about numbers, I'm sure you can share more, and so we can really see just how much it affects our community.
So last fiscal year, we served 322 victims, including 181 women, 9 men, and 132 children. Among them, 107 women and 58 children we house at the shelter with us. And it is important to recognize that our services are available to all victims, including men.
Yes.
So we provide safe shelter for women and children, but for the men, we offer safe hotel accommodations, and they can receive the same services as all of the women as if they were in the shelter.
Oh, that's wonderful. That's wonderful. And what are the different things that you guys are doing throughout the month to bring awareness? Obviously, you're in purple. Do you have a special day for it, or?
On Thursday. So we wear
Okay.
purple on Thursdays since purple is the color for domestic violence awareness. We also have on the square our ribbon displays. One of them is interactive for people in the community to come and pin a ribbon to that ribbon.
Okay.
If their domestic violence has ever touched their lives, they can write their feelings on it, or maybe it's touched somebody's life that they're close to. They can write their feelings on it or whatever they want to write. And they're not censored. We just ask that you don't provide any names.
Right. Yeah, that's a beautiful thing. And maybe, too, if you have been touched by it or you've never talked about it, because I know that breaking that first silence is the hardest, maybe to just go down there and read and see how many people truly are affected by it, and then you don't feel so alone.
Yes. Approximately 41% of women and 26% of men have experienced some form of domestic violence or intimate partner violence in their lifetime.
And I love these things that you guys have, and your shirt, Stop the Violence, Love Shouldn't Hurt, as it truly shouldn't hurt. And, I know with it being a hard thing to talk about, you guys have these hashtags, which people should use and choose to see, choose to help, and you guys are here to help.
Well, the reality is, it's out there.
Oh, yeah.
There's suffering you don't see.
Oh, yeah.
In all aspects of the community, but we just encourage people again to choose to see it and then choose to help, because it really is a conscious effort to do that.
Right. And living it for as long as I did, I know that the silence was always the abuser's biggest weapon. The more silent you are, the more they're allowed to abuse. So, and you guys, not only a shelter, if like I'm way too scared to leave or anything like that, you have a phone number where someone can just call and talk 24 hours a day, right?
We do. We have a crisis hotline, and for anybody who's not ready to leave yet, we will safety plan with them discreetly, obviously, and help them get out of that situation. And and see that there really is hope on the other side.
Right. Yeah, there's hope, there's help. Well, what else you got going on this month where people could support? I know we've talked about victims and getting the help, but if somebody just out there is thinking, I want to get involved, I want to help, I want to give back, or maybe is on the other side of it.
We also have volunteer opportunities available at the shelter. One of our greatest needs is transportation.
Okay.
It's not a daily volunteering opportunity, but it's like an on-call, and we go around the volunteers' availability. Sometimes a woman needs to go to work, or maybe she has court, maybe she has a doctor's appointment, to take her kids to school, so things like that, because we don't have public transportation. And the shelter's in a confidential location, so we can't do any kind of Lyft or Uber or anything like that. But we really rely on our volunteers for that. They'll come and take the women to work, pick them up from work, bring them back to the shelter. And that's vital whenever you're trying to get self-sustainable and trying to become independent after being in the abusive relationship for so long.
Absolutely. And tell me about Light the Night, because, again, you don't see a lot of the purple or talking about domestic violence. So how amazing that Hood County Courthouse and the city is behind you with this.
It's so amazing. We're so thankful to them. But on October 22nd at 7 p.m., we're going to host what's called Light the Night. It's a candlelight vigil to honor the 205 Texans that lost their lives in 2023. And to celebrate the survivors that were able to get out.
Because they are truly heroes to get out. I remember thinking, with 3 young kids, like, well, I have to stay married. I have to stay, we have to get through this. And then it would start to happen in front of the kids. And I thought of it like, if you're on an airplane and if the pilot is calm and good, you're good, right? But if the pilot is frantic and oh my gosh, you're not good, and I thought of that as my children, and having to see and witness that it doesn't give them the confidence they need to go out into this world. So as hard as it is to leave, it's 100% worth it.
And it is. And of those victims that Rebecca mentioned, 2 of them are actually from Hood County.
Oh my gosh.
So it's real, it's here.
It is.
We have to talk about it.
Yeah, I always say, it can happen in the trailer house, but it's happening in the penthouse as well. It does not discriminate.
That's right.
No, it does not.
Are there any other ways or things that are coming up this month? Like, how would somebody get a T-shirt or a pin like this? Like, I want to wear the pin around and have people ask me about it.
This year, this is a new shirt we designed this year, and our window closed for ordering because we ordered them locally, and she printed them just what we needed. But next year we'll be having, I think, hopefully the same shirt. It's a great shirt. And I love the subtlety of the little white heart within the large heart.
I do too.
The pins, we have some left. If someone wants to reach out, you can call me at Mission Granbury, and if we have one, we'll be happy to give them one to wear. We handed them out at the Commissioner's Court when they did the proclamation for Domestic Violence Awareness Month, and also City Council.
Okay.
Because again, it's small, but it's just an awareness that you know what's going on.
Right. And you never know if you're in the grocery store and that person needs to know about it and say, "Oh, what's the purple for?"
Yep.
Yeah, awesome.
And there's a lot of months every year. Every month there's something,
there's something.
Yeah.
But that's how we just want to continue to bring that awareness to October as being Domestic Violence Awareness Month. And again, I love what you said. You got to break the silence. We have to talk about it. It's hard. It's a hard conversation.
Oh, it's probably the hardest thing I ever did in my life. But looking back now, because I always say I was a victim and I went to survivor, but now a thriver.
I love that.
But it didn't start until I made that first hardest choice of my life, and then opening up and speaking about it. But, it was a shelter that I went to, that I escaped to. I took my 3 kids and we left the state and we showed up to a shelter, and being able to talk and know you're not alone and crazy gives you the first step of confidence. And then from there on, just to, having that safety and not having to be afraid of them finding you or, coming to get you or coming to get the kids. And then just each step, I remember, the shelter gave us backpacks because we left in August and school started in September. And well, when you're fleeing, that's the last thing you think about, but that one backpack that you guys can provide is like everything to a kid. It gets me emotional thinking about it, but.
Well, and we find when we go do presentations at different organizations or churches, they invite us to come in and share. about different aspects of Mission Granbury, and it seems like it never fails that someone will come up and say, share part of their story.
Yeah.
Because they feel invited to, and
Yeah.
they know that it's safe,
Right.
as you said.
Right. That safe place is everything. So thank you you guys for what you're doing.
Thank you for having us.
Yes, thank you.
Absolutely.